Basically, I created this definition of creating your best life years ago when I was parenting with the end in mind, and I've talked about that before, but when I was trying to decide as a parent, because in the daily craziness of 4 young children and crying and screaming and everything, dishes and dinner and everything that needed to be done, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't feel like a good parent because I'm just running around from one thing to the next, so frustrated. It was overwhelming, and there was really not a lot meaningful and purposeful other than just being with my children. But what I discovered is I said, okay, this is not what I love, the cleaning up squashed peas and all of that. I loved being with my children, but I didn't love a lot of that. And without the meaning and purpose, I wasn't finding a lot of happiness in those daily chores. So what I decided is, okay, if I'm gonna do this parenting thing, if I'm gonna be home with my kids, even while I'm running a business from home, I am going to parent with the end in mind. I'm going to think, what in the end is it that I want for my children? And that's how I came up with this framework of creating your best life. For me, because that's what I've been doing as a student in personal development now for 30 plus years. I took the original Tony Robbins course, and I've read everything and research and parenting and business books, and it's my mission and passion. And so I knew that that's what I had been doing. I didn't define it as that, but that's what I'd been doing. It encompasses all of that personal development, all the best life lessons, everything I'd been learning and doing. And I thought, well, gosh, people spend their entire lives learning this stuff. What if I could teach this to my children? That's what the end I wanted for my children was. I wanted them to design, to live, to create, and to live their best lives. So that's where I started, with the end in mind. And I thought, that's what I'm doing for me, and that's what I want to model for my children, and that's what I want to teach them. So no matter what else was going on a daily basis, and that didn't bring me necessarily happiness, all the daily grind, that was bringing me meaning and purpose, because that was my mission, my values, just like an organization has one. I was parenting with the end in mind, with the goal of inspiring, motivating, and empowering my children to design, create, and live their best lives. So that brought meaning and purpose. And that definition, that framework I came up with, living meaningful and purposeful lives with love, happiness, and fulfillment, doing everything you want to do, being everything you want to be, having everything you want to have based on what's most important to you, and growing as a person, as a human being, encompassed everything I could think of that I wanted for my children. Now, specifically, what that means for me, for each of my children, and for you and yours is uniquely different to each and every one of us. That's why I created the framework and defined it like that, because it's unique to each of us. We have to figure out what it is for us, and we have to help our children figure out what it is for them. That's our job as parents. And it's fun, it's exciting, and it also gives meaning and purpose despite everything else that's going on. Especially if you're a young mom and have young children, or maybe you're not a young mom, but you have young children, whatever the case may be. It gets past that daily grind because you know what you're doing is most important. Now, again, that's the framework, what it is to you and to your children. And of course, when they're 2, it's very different than when they're 22, but it grows and evolves with them. You can start as early as you want figuring that out, what your authentic self is, what you love, what you're good at, who you love, being grateful. All of these best life lessons and character development is how I help my children create their best lives, and you can use it to help your children create their best lives. These character traits, the essential character traits. Garage is opening, so someone's coming home. And best life lessons. So I hope you'll check out the links below, or head over to SherieFogarty.com after the episode to learn more. I'd love to help you help your children design, create, and live their best lives possible. So thank you so much for being here, for being a mom or dad, and for everything you do each and every day to be the best when you can be. It's a hard job, and I honor you for your commitment to doing it. And remember, we can have happier and more grateful children. We can be happier and more grateful ourselves, and we can teach our children to create their best lives while we create ours. We change the world, one child and one family at a time, starting with our own. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.